Welcome to the AP Chemistry Thermodynamics Lab. So we did this on Thursday, February 25th. There are two parts to our lab. The first one is where we determine the heat capacity of our calorimeter to show how much heat we could expect to lose to our styrofoam cups during these reactions that we'll be doing later. So first things first, looking at our apparatus. So here's the calorimeter, the two styrofoam cups. And there is the temperature device. So we've got the probe, and the electronic device is going to measure it for us. So I just got to turn it on. And first we're measuring the room temperature water. So about 20.4, that's our initial temperature for the room temperature water. Next we have the hot water. And you're going to look for the highest temperature here. So about 59.7 degrees Celsius for our hot water initial temperature. And what we're going to do is we're going to put both of these samples of water together and see the temperature that it goes to versus what we would expect. So we're putting the same amount of water together. We would expect that the temperature is going to change to halfway between what our initials were. And at this point I remembered, oh, I should put a magnetic stirrer in there. So our calorimeter is on top of a platform here, which is going to help to stir our mixture to make the temperature more uniform. So here we go. And you're going to need to start your timer here as soon as I pour it in. Start it now. Now, every 20 seconds, you're going to want to record the temperature from where you started. So at 20 seconds, at 40 seconds, at 1 minute, and so on until you have done it for 3 minutes. So you should have a recording every 20 seconds for 3 minutes. And at this point, this is where we get a special guest. I hadn't turned in the attendance for today, so Mr. Hall came up to see me. There he comes. There he is. Say hi, Mr. Hall. And at this point, you should be right around the end of your 3 minutes. So we are going to now move on to the second part of our experiment. we're going to look at 3 chemical reactions, the first of which being hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. All right, so first I'm going to take the temperature of the hydrochloric acid. And this is just going to shut off on me. Turn it on. And there we go. So about 21.6 degrees Celsius for the initial temperature of hydrochloric acid. Oh, and what an entrance. So next we have the sodium hydroxide. We're going to take the temperature of that. So little disclaimer here, I had to mix some sodium hydroxide together to get this. So it is actually a little bit warmer still from whenever I dissolved it. But this is the temperature of our sodium hydroxide, about 26.1 degrees Celsius. So again, get your timer ready. As soon as I pour it into the cup, you need to start your timer. Start it now. And at 20 seconds, you will make your first recording for the temperature. And again, every 20 seconds for 3 minutes, you will record the temperature. And at this point, you should be right around the end of your 3 minutes. So we're going to get ready to move on to our next experiment. The following reaction is going to be between our ammonium chloride and sodium hydroxide. So we're going to start off with the ammonium chloride, figure out what the temperature of that is. I don't know why I'm using the lid here, but I did. All right, our starting temperature for that is about 21.6 degrees Celsius. And now, again, I have the sodium hydroxide. Again, this is going to be a little bit warmer than the previous one, just because of the fact that I had mixed it earlier that day. So our starting temperature, say about 25.6 degrees Celsius. Now get your timer ready again. As soon as I pour the sodium hydroxide in, you need to start your timer. Start it now. And once again, take the temperature reading every 20 seconds for 3 minutes. At this point, you should be at the end of the 3 minutes or close to it. So now we're going to move on to our part 3, our ammonium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. All right, so we're going to start with the hydrochloric acid, I believe. It doesn't really matter which is which. Okay, as we have seen, the initial temperature of that is also 21.6 degrees Celsius. It's always good to wipe off the probe before taking the temperature of the next thing. Now I'm going to take the temperature of our second item, which I believe was the ammonium hydroxide. But like I said, it doesn't really matter which is which. And this again is 21.6 degrees Celsius. So very consistent. So get your timers ready once again. And as soon as I pour, start your timer now. And as you have done for the previous 3 experiments, record the temperature every 20 seconds for 3 minutes. And we are right about at the end of the 3 minutes. So thank you for joining me for the lab today. And I hope that you got all the data and you don't have to watch this again.